Okay, so hello everyone and good morning. I just wanted to take out this time to um, make some clarifications as regards what we had in class yesterday regarding the linear model function and why we didn't use the data equals in first instance. When I go to R, you understand what I mean. So I just want to take out some time to just explain further. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen now. Okay, let's just create a new screen, a new script. So I'm going to click here and click on our script. So I just have a new script. Okay, so remember first time we had a class, I said it's best anytime you're working in our studio to always create a project such that it's easier for you to see all the documents that you're working on concerning a particular project. So having said that, I'm going to go to my desktop. You can do it anywhere on your system, but I usually use the desktop. So I'm going to go to the desktop and create a folder. So I'm going to go to my desktop. And then I'll create a folder. So I'm going to call that folder regression. All right. Okay. So this is my folder and it's empty. So I'm just going to go to my system again and copy the data sets I would like to work on. So it's somewhere here. So that's okay. So let me just get I'll paste it inside that folder, right? Okay, so fine. We'll have a folder where we'll have these data sets. Fine, I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to go back to R Studio. Then I'm going to create a project, an R project. So file, new project. It will open up a dialog box. I'll go to existing directory. And then it will bring out this create project from existing directory. And I will browse and go to the projects, the folder I have created. So it's in my desktop and it's called regression. So let me just type regression here. And that is it. So if I still scroll down, I can see it. Where is it now? Regression here. Good. So I'll just open. So you can see it has created the working directory now to that folder I just created. And then I'll tick on this box, open a new session, and I'll create my project. So it opens up a new RStudio document inside that folder I just created now, such that everything I'm doing regarding this will now be from that folder. I'll show you the advantage of doing that. So we'll just come here and click to get our fourth window and save it. You can save this script now. So we'll go to save as and let's call it regression exercise. Okay, you can see the name of the script has now changed to regression exercise. And if you look here where my cursor is, you can see the name of this project is regression. So created, you can see it also here where my cursor is on the far right upper corner. Okay, so we have our RStudio projects created in that folder regression, which we created in the beginning. So usually when I start my script, I just want to sectionalize. So I'm just going to create a few sections. So Control Shift R, and then I'm going to just put the title. And then Control Shift R, I'm going to put probably install and load packages. I'm going to put practice area. This just helps me organize the work. Okay, so title, I'm going to put name, malaria, modeling, Belch, then auto, I'm going to put Malam, and then I'm going to put a date. I'll call it August 2024. Okay, I can stop at that because R considers everything I write here to be a code. So I'll just deactivate this so that R doesn't consider it as a code. And then I'm just going to install a few packages. So I'll use my pacman:p underscore load. I'm sure if you've watched my first video, you will understand why we're using this. And then I put in a few packages, put in my Rio. Rio is very important because it helps me to import. It has an import function that helps me to import files, import data sets into RStudio. I'm also going to put in read the Excel so that I'll use it to show something. Then read I think that should be that. Okay, let me just put in my tidyverse. I usually like working with tidyverse. Okay. So I can run this, Control Enter, and then it just loads this package for me. Okay. Now, practice area. So remember, when you have a data set and you want to call a specific variable within that data set. Okay, so okay, first of all, let's import our data set. I forgot to do that. So Control Shift R, I'm going to put here import data set. Okay, so if you look at this top quadrant here where we have these files, so you can see here we have all those data sets that I have pasted into that folder. So you have your income happiness, you have your income data, you have malaria underscore 12, malaria, the one we had for 3 variables, malaria, temperature, rainfall, and then the one we had for mean file points, and then non-linear regression. So we have all those data sets here. So I'm going to import each of these ones. So if there are 2 ways to import, either you use the read type of importing data set, or you use the import function. When you create a project, it makes it easy to use the import function. So if I just want to import these data sets here, I'll just let's assume I want to import this first one called beta.xlsx. So let's say I want to call it beta. That's the name I want to assign to it. So we assign it to the import function. And then in parentheses, I put in my beta.xlsx. Then I run this, Control Enter, and you can see beta is imported here in the environment, right? And if I call beta, Control Enter, you can see the data set inside the console here displayed. That's the data set. Okay, then let's import the second one, income underscore happiness. So let me call it income data, for example, and I'll assign it also to my import function, right? Now, because sometimes I don't want to make mistakes in the way the name is written, I'll just tick the box beside the data set here, I'll tick this box, and then I'll go to rename. You can see rename function, sorry, rename tab here. I'll click on rename. So I'll copy the name of the data set here, right? I just copy it, Control C, and then I'll cancel this. Then I'll come into this place and I'll paste it so that there's no mistake in the way the name is written, right? And then I can just do Control Enter, and you can see the income data has also been imported into my environment here. Now, the way we do it in class is to use the read Excel or the read CSV. And in that case, you need to know the working directory in which your document is. And because I want to avoid that process of writing all the working directories, I usually just use this import function. But before you use import function, like I said, you have to create a project for, and you have to create a folder and then create a project inside that folder and put in all your data set inside that. And then you can easily just import straightforward by using the import function. So maybe let's import one more. Okay, let's import this malaria temperature rainfall. So I just call it malaria data. And then I'll assign that to import. And then I'll put in my parentheses, and then I'll go to malaria temperature rainfall, and I'll tick this. I'll go to rename. Okay, sorry, I ticked more than two, so I'll tick this. I'll go to rename, and then I'll select this. I'll highlight it and copy, and then cancel, and then come here and paste it. And then Control Enter. You can see the malaria data has been imported. If I click on this, I can see my malaria data that has malaria, temperature, and rainfall, right? Okay, so another way to also import data, like I said, is the read CSV, in which you have to use the working directory. And an easy way to do that is to come here, and this fourth quadrant, you can see import data set here. So you click on import data set. So you need to know what type of file you want to import. So let's assume you want to import this malaria_12.csv. It's a CSV file. So, and CSV is a type of Excel. So I just do this, and then I will look for that folder. So I will browse here, and then it's in my desktop. Okay, so I'm already in that folder. You can see desktop and then regression. So I'll click on it. This is it, malaria_12, and then I'll open, right? Now, okay, so let's choose something else. Let's choose an Excel file. So let's cancel this. Let's cancel this. So let's assume we want to get this nonlinear regression mean_file_point. So I'll still go here, import an Excel file, and then I'll browse there and select this and click open. And then instead of clicking import, I'll just copy this code within this place. I'll copy it, and then I'll cancel this, and then I'll come here, and then I'll paste it. Then I can select everything here and run it. So can you see the main file point dataset has been imported, right? And it has also displayed it here for me. So that's how to import your data sets into R. Okay, so the next thing I wanted us to look at is how to call. Okay, so when we did calling a variable from a data set, remember, for example, let's look at one of these data sets. Okay, so let's look at this one. What did we call it? Or let's use the malaria data. The malaria data is here. So malaria data has malaria, temperature, and rainfall. So remember, if we wanted to call any of these variables, we would write the data set. So let me just give you the template data set, and then we will use a $sign and then write the variable. So using the malaria data, we will write malaria underscore data, and then we will use a $sign and call any of the variables within it. You can see R is already giving me all the variables. So let's say I select malaria or temperature. So if I run this, it will give me the values in the temperature column, right? So now, when you use the function attach, and you attach the data set, so malaria data. So when you do this, Control Enter, it gives you the leverage to call the variables directly. You don't now need to put in this malaria data $sign. You can just call the variables directly. So I can just call temperature without typing the what's it called now? Without typing the malaria data in front, because I have attached this data set. So R already knows that this comes in front because I have attached. So if I run temperature only, Control Enter, you can see it gives me the values in the temperature column, just the same way the malaria data $sign temperature give it to me. This is because I have called the data set, right? So I can also call rainfall directly without using the $sign. So Control Enter, and it gives me the values in the rainfall data. So you will see that when we did the linear model, so LM, and then the formula is malaria depending on, for example, rainfall. So we can run this. Why is it not giving me matched brackets? Okay. Sorry. So linear model. Right? Sorry. Malaria depending on rainfall. So we can run this without having to put in the data because we've already attached this. So you can see I've run this and it's giving me the linear model result here. But if I hadn't attached the malaria data, I would have had to write this formula like this, LM in brackets. So the template for linear model is LM and then formula. You can see formula equal to, comma, and then your data equal to. So this is a template for your linear model. You put in the formula and then you put in the data from which those variables in the formula were derived from. But because we have attached up here malaria data, we can just write it like this without putting in the comma data equals malaria data. So, but for example, let's use another data now. Let's use this income data. See, income has income and happiness, right? So if I call income, just income, Control Enter, you can see it will give me an error to say object income not found. And that's because income is only a variable within the income data data set, right? And it's not attached. So we need to do income underscore data and then put in our $sign and then put in income and then run it before it gives us a result of the income values. So I hope that's is a bit clearer. And then if we want to run the linear model for income and happiness, it will be LM, which is the linear model function. Then the formula will be happiness depends on income, comma, and then we put in our data equal to income underscore data. And then we can run this, Control Enter, and it will give us a result. But we cannot run just this. So let me just copy this. Copy. Cannot run it like this, the way we ran the last one in the malaria. If we remove the data equal to and just run the two dependents, this will give us an error. So if I run this, Control Enter, it will give us an error because it will tell you it cannot find happiness because it doesn't know where happiness is, right? So that's why we needed to put data equal to, so that it knows where these two variables, it knows the data set in which to find them. However, if I had attached here, attached the data, what's the name of the data now? Income underscore data. So if I had attached income underscore data in this place first, and then I can now run this one because R now already knows the data set in which to find this. So Control Enter, you can see it gives us the result of the linear model for formula for happiness depending on income. Now, because I've attached this, R has forgotten that there's malaria attached here before. So it only works with the one that is currently attached. So if I come here again and I run this temperature, oh, it's still working with this. I don't know why. Okay, so I thought I was. So when you use the attach function, it attaches your data set to RStudio so that you can just call the variables directly. So that's what I wanted to explain. So thank you very much, and have a nice morning or evening. Bye.